Way down at the bottom of the world, there's a continent made of ice. A place so quiet, it said you can hear your own heartbeat. But this frozen land hides something that scientists are only just beginning to grasp, and what they're finding beneath it might just shock you. You see, this isn't just some empty, desolate wasteland. Buried deep under a mile of solid ice, there's a world that no human has ever touched. A world that has, that's right, glaciers that literally look like they're bleeding. And get this, entire mountain ranges, as big as the Alps, completely hidden from our view. Bizarre radio waves that are coming up from inside the Earth, which, by the way, should violate the laws of physics. And then there's the story of a secret military operation that ended so suddenly it sparked wild rumors of a hidden war. All right, let's get into it. To really understand the secrets here, you've got to wrap your head around the fact that this continent had a totally different past. Millions of years ago, this wasn't a polar desert at all. It was alive. Just try to picture it. This exact spot, now buried under ice, was once covered in these incredible, lush forests. Dinosaurs were roaming through fields of ferns, and the seasons just went from warm to warmer. And we know this because of the fossils they left behind, like a ghost of a green world. So this raises a really tantalizing question. What if parts of that ancient world didn't just disappear? What if they were preserved? Trapped under all that ice, just waiting. And that brings us to one of the most unsettling sights on the entire continent, Blood Falls. It's a blood-red waterfall pouring out of pure white ice, almost like the glacier itself has been wounded. And this is a real place. It was discovered over 100 years ago, and it's been baffling scientists ever since. But the science behind it, honestly, it's even stranger than it looks. It's not actually blood. It's this super salty, ancient water that's full of these tiny iron-rich particles. After being locked away for millions of years, when this water finally seeps out and hits the air, the iron literally rusts, staining the ice that deep red color. But the real secret isn't the color, it's what's in the water. Living microorganisms, a whole ecosystem totally sealed off from our world that's been thriving in complete darkness. And the weirdness definitely doesn't stop there. The biggest ice shelf in the world, a chunk of ice the size of France, well, it sings. So scientists discovered that the entire shelf is constantly vibrating. As winds sweep across the surface, they create this seismic hum, a deep, continuous song that's actually too low for our ears to hear. The whole continent is alive with these forces we can't even perceive. And what's underneath all that singing ice? Water. More than 400 subglacial lakes have been found so far. Think about that. A huge hidden network of liquid water that hasn't seen sunlight in millions of years. This isn't a dead continent. It's a water world in hiding. So how in the world do these lakes stay liquid? Well, heat is actually rising up from the Earth's core, warming them from below. This creates these currents that churn the water, mixing in nutrients from the ice that's melting above. So these aren't just stagnant ponds, they're dynamic environments hidden from the sun, and they could potentially support life. You know, hidden lakes are one thing, but what about hidden mountains? Deep beneath all that ice are the Gamburtsev Mountains, a range just as massive as the European Alps. But here's the puzzle, the part that drives geologists crazy. They shouldn't exist. Mountains like that are usually formed when continents crush together, but this part of Antarctica is an ancient, stable piece of crust. Their very existence is a profound geological mystery. But what scientists found next was never supposed to exist. This is a discovery that seriously challenges everything we thought we knew about physics. Okay, so there's this NASA experiment called ANITA. It was floating on a balloon high above the continent when it detected something weird, high-energy radio waves. Now that part's not so unusual, but these signals weren't coming from space. They were shooting up out of the ice, from deep inside the planet. And according to physics as we know it, particles with that kind of energy just shouldn't be able to travel through thousands of kilometers of solid rock. It's a signal that, for all intents and purposes, shouldn't exist, and we still have no explanation for it. So you've got all these profound natural puzzles, and they form the backdrop for Antarctica's most enduring human secrets. right after World War II, the US launched something called Operation High Jump. This was the largest military force ever sent to the continent. We're talking an aircraft carrier, a submarine, over 4,000 troops. Officially, the mission was for training, but it was supposed to last 6 to 8 months, and they bailed after just 6 weeks. So why? Well, when the mission's commander, Admiral Byrd, got back, he allegedly gave this very cryptic interview. He warned of a new threat to the US coming from flying objects that could travel from one pole to the other at incredible speeds. And that single quote opened the floodgates to one of the biggest conspiracy theories of the 20th century. And from that mystery, the legend of Base 211 was born. The theory goes that the Nazis had set up a secret base in Antarctica. They called it New Swabia, and that after the war, they kept developing advanced technology there. So, was Operation High Jump's real purpose to find and destroy this hidden fortress? And if it was, did they find something they couldn't beat? Now, the official story is that the weather got really bad and forced them to retreat early. And hey, that's totally plausible. Antarctica is the harshest place on Earth. But the questions don't just go away. Why send such a massive military force for a training mission? And what on earth did Admiral Byrd mean by that chilling warning? The fact that we don't have clear answers has kept these theories alive for decades. So just think about what we've seen here. Glaciers that are bleeding ancient life, entire mountain ranges that shouldn't even exist, radio signals that defy the laws of physics as we know them, and a secret military operation that might have stumbled onto something it was just not prepared for. This place is so much more than just a block of ice at the bottom of the globe. It's a land of deep, deep secrets, a continent that is still very much alive, hiding worlds that we're only just now beginning to glimpse. As the world warms and the ice continues to melt, it's slowly pulling back the curtain on all these mysteries. And it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's going to be the next secret to emerge from the ice?